You've heard the stories. Strange lights in the sky, ships piercing through clouds, and shadows that don't belong on Earth. But what if those stories weren't fiction? What if one day they showed up for real? Not for peace, not for abductions, but for something much bigger, full-scale invasion. In this video, we'll take you through a chilling scenario. Why they might come, how they would strike, and what humanity would do when faced with the end of everything we know. Stick around to the end because you're not just going to hear how the world might fall, you'll see how we Part I. Why they came. We've all heard the stories: alien ships piercing through the clouds, cities cast in shadow, the sky glowing an unnatural blue. But what if, one day, it actually happened? What if aliens invaded Earth? Not for war, but for purpose. Imagine an ancient civilization, millions of years more advanced than ours. Their planet a dry husk after centuries of extraction and expansion no longer supports life. So they roam the stars, searching. They are not just explorers. They are survivors, nomads of the galaxy seeking their next home, their next breath of survival. And then, they find Earth. From their perspective, our world is a cosmic oasis. Over 70% of the surface is covered in liquid water, something rare and valuable across the galaxy. Our atmosphere is rich in oxygen and nitrogen, stable and breathable. Our crust holds an abundance of metals: lithium for batteries, uranium for energy, gold for circuitry. To them, we are a gold mine spinning in the darkness. They don't care about our cultures. They don't marvel at our cities, our languages, our art. These are curiosities, perhaps, but not priorities. We are not equals. We are a planet to be stripped, optimized, and restructured. With planetary-scale siphoning technology, they begin draining our oceans into orbiting reservoirs the size of small moons. Towering extraction drills puncture the seabed and crust, pulling out rare earth elements with surgical precision. Our mountain ranges are leveled in minutes. Volcanoes are triggered to expose mineral cores. Forests vanish under heatless beams of matter conversion. The atmosphere grows thin. The climate destabilizes. But perhaps this was never just about resources. Perhaps Earth is something else entirely to them. A case study, a controlled variable in a grander experiment. Our biosphere, rich with millions of species, is unique even among known star systems. Our minds, capable of creativity, of emotion, of violence and love, are fascinating anomalies. To such an advanced species, we might look like ants in a glass box. Our wars, our songs, our choices, they are not random. They are data. Every panic, every rebellion, every act of courage becomes a measurable event. What happens when a population faces extinction? How does intelligence adapt to pressure? Do species unify, or do they self-destruct? And perhaps they aren't even biological. What if they are something else entirely? Imagine a civilization that uploaded its consciousness into machines millennia ago. What arrives on Earth are not flesh and blood aliens, but self-sustaining AI called calculating, emotionless, sentient code wrapped in living metal. Programs with the memories of their makers, tasked to continue a mission long after organic life ceased to exist. They don't speak. They don't negotiate. They analyze. They catalog. They dissect. Earth might be labeled Test Planet 3 in a long list of galactic experiments. Not because we're special, but because we're next. They release swarms of microscopic drones into our oceans, forests, and cities. These devices gather biological, environmental, and psychological data at a scale we can't imagine. They record everything from the chemical composition of our tears to the rhythm of our dreams. And in the skies, they wait. Watching. Measuring. Because perhaps the invasion was never about conquest. Perhaps it was about something deeper. Not to destroy us, but to understand us. To push us. To test what humanity becomes when it's no longer at the top of the food chain. And maybe to decide if we deserve. Part 2. How they attack. We always imagine war as explosions. But what if alien war is nothing like ours? Their assault begins not with noise, but with silence. The first signs are anomalies: subtle gravitational shifts, strange shadows on radar, flickers in satellite feeds. Then, without a sound, they arrive. Massive, city-sized vessels materialize in Earth's orbit, cloaked not by stealth, but by manipulation of light and perception itself. These ships don't just hover, they anchor. They root themselves into our magnetic fields, drawing power from the planet's own rotation. From them come smaller units, drones the size of buildings, patrolling our skies, mapping terrain, identifying resistance. They don't fire warning shots. They don't broadcast demands. They begin their work. The first wave is technological paralysis. Electromagnetic pulses detonate in the upper atmosphere, frying circuits across continents. Satellites crash. Power grids short out. Internet disappears. Military bases go dark. The global infrastructure built over centuries falls silent in an instant. Then comes kinetic devastation. High-velocity rods, dropped from orbit, slam into key locations with the force of nuclear warheads but without radiation. Government centers. military command hubs, strategic bridges, all wiped off the map. These are not battles. These are statements. Next, biological manipulation. Microscopic devices, carried by wind and water, enter human bodies without detection. Some spread confusion and disorientation. Others shut down immune systems or hijack neurotransmitters. People collapse in the streets, gripped by fevers and hallucinations. Panic sets in. Society begins to fragment. But perhaps the most insidious attack is psychological. Alien tech interfaces directly with our brains, broadcasting signals that amplify fear, aggression, despair. Dreams are hijacked. Memories rewritten. Voices whisper in people's minds, urging surrender, betrayal, suicide. Propaganda spreads not through screens, but through thoughts. In some regions, entire populations fall under mass delusion. They see illusions, divine apparitions, messages from ancestors, visions of paradise convincing them to lay down arms or turn against each other. Civilization unravels, not from bombs, but from belief. Even Earth's weather is weaponized. Climate patterns shift abruptly. Artificial storms flood coastal cities. Droughts choke the bread biscuits of the world. Solar shields launched into orbit dim the sun, chilling temperatures globally. Humanity, already fractured, is driven further into survival mode. By the time the first direct conflict occurs, when human forces finally mount a counterattack, the damage is already catastrophic. Our numbers are reduced. Our trust is broken. Our sense of reality shattered. This is not war. This is recalibration, a controlled collapse. And from their view, it is efficient. Because why engage in a prolonged battle when you can simply turn? Part 3. How we fight back, but the story doesn't end with collapse. Not for us. Not for humanity. When the skies fell and silence gripped the earth, we did what we've always done, we adapted. Not every city burned. Not every nation bowed. From the ashes of our civilization rose a new purpose. Survival, at any cost. The first to act were the ones with nothing left to lose. Isolated labs, hidden in mountain bunkers, came online. Disconnected from the grid, their scientists resumed work in secrecy. They studied captured debris, analyzed fallen drones. Within weeks, humanity began to understand barely, but enough. Across the globe, the Earth Defense Accord was born. A coalition of the willing and desperate. Former enemies Russia, the US, China, India, the EU stood shoulder to shoulder, trading old rivalries for new blueprints. Open source technology spread across military and civilian channels. A war economy emerged overnight. We reverse engineered alien materials. We built armor resistant to their drones' disintegration fields. We forged energy weapons powered by small-scale fusion cores. Satellite networks were restored using high-altitude balloons and mobile uplinks. Artificial intelligence systems, trained on alien logic, helped us decode their language, anticipate their moves. And underground the resistance grew. In occupied cities, people refused to give in. Small, mobile cells emerged. Fighters, hackers, rogue engineers, medics. They used scavenged alien tech to disrupt enemy surveillance, sabotage infrastructure, and protect civilian clusters. Children became couriers. Elders became codebreakers. Every person found a role. Covert global channels lit up with encrypted messages. A global resistance network formed, invisible to the invaders, but beating like a heart beneath their feet. We didn't just fight back. We evolved. New generations of soldiers wore exosuits controlled by thought. Drones operated in coordinated swarms, acting as airborne shields. Cities began to re-emerge underground, shielded from detection, powered by geothermal grids and fusion cores. Humanity was no longer retreating, we were rebuilding. And then, the tide turned. In a remote region hidden under a frozen sea, a joint team discovered something vital. A flaw in the invaders' code. A signal. A command buried deep in their neural network. Perhaps a shutdown key. Perhaps a doorway. This discovery became our beacon. As the resistance rallied, as weapons charged, and scientists deciphered alien systems line by line, a single truth emerged. They may have come to conquer, but they did not expect us to endure. Because humanity isn't just intelligent. It isn't just creative. It is relentless. They came to break us. But in doing so, they gave us something we'd forgotten: unity, purpose, and a reason to rise. And now, we are no longer the hunted. We are the